We're Countless Guys, and you're watching rockflesh.com.
And here we are, another interview. It's February, it's cold, we're in Manchester, and I'm here with Countless Guys. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
And can I say, probably a very resilient Countless Guys, because it's been quite a difficult couple of weeks leading up to this tour.
Yeah, it's not how we expected it to be, but I think that you know, we've just pulled together and we've still tried to make sure that the shows go ahead. Yeah.
So for the people watching, James is not here because he's had a baby.
Yeah.
His partner's had a baby.
Yeah.
How long is he on maternity leave for until he wants to?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's in Germany you get maternity leave and paternity leave, but you don't have to take them at the same time. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I think he's probably heading back to work soon. But yeah, his wife will be off for a little bit longer looking after the baby. Yeah.
And Phil is ill and not here.
Unfortunately, yeah, he's unwell. Yeah, he's at home resting, you know. But his health and his recovery come first. So yeah, it's best.
In terms of what that means to you, because Phil isn't just the bass player, Phil is also the clean vocalist, and you know, possessor of quite an impressive set of lungs, to be completely honest. So how's that working with you in the tour?
Yes, so basically Phil has put all of his vocals on the backing tracks, so we're sort of playing as a three-piece now, and Phil's vocals sort of come in out of seemingly nowhere through the speakers, but we got some pretty good feedback last night. How do you think it went?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
We kind of aimed for Phil's vocals to sit a bit lower in the mix overall, so it's more of an orchestra choir type thing, rather than just blaring out and no one singing, and it just looks a bit weird.
Yeah, we had some. Yeah, we had some confused faces at first, but then I spent a moment explaining the situation, and we asked people to sing along, you know, for Phil's parts, and they did, and it was brilliant. We could hear them in the crowd. It was amazing. Yeah.
That's one thing I want to talk to you, because you've got quite a committed fan base. You know, so there are people I know who like Countless Guys, like myself, really like Countless Guys. You know, is that something you've noticed? So it's the same faces turning up again and again at gigs, and.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell who's a big fan or what, but it's nice to go to different places, especially when we go abroad and go to Europe, and there's people there with our t-shirts on already, and we always have time for our fans, and we always like to have a chat with them and get to know them, and it's nice to see familiar faces returning to our gigs and stuff, and yeah, we've even become friends with quite a few of them, so yeah, it's really nice.
So talking about sort of Phil's doing the backing tracks, was that something you had seriously squirreled away especially for it, or did he have to sit there and sing the whole lot?
So no, so we used the recordings from the album. Yeah, so we had them on standby, but he had to put them onto the backing tracks and set it all up. So that's what he's been doing for like the past week. So yeah, he's unwell, but he can sit down and you know, he can sit on a computer. So he's been doing that quite happily, having a lot of fun with it, I think.
So, you know, I asked a couple of friends of mine who are big fans of the big questions to ask you, and the one that came out was, when's the next album? Because you have taken your time around this.
You'll take that?
Yeah, I mean, we've largely written the majority of the new album. A few songs we sort of had ideas for it for years now, so it's just putting them all together in a way that actually makes sense, and actually playing them. That's the key part, because obviously we're across 2 countries now. But yeah, it's coming together, and I think the plan is this year we're going to go to Berlin and record it.
It's so we don't have the lyrics yet. We've got like the skeleton for a few songs, but I mean the difference between New Dawn and Glow, I think there's another change again with the next album. It's going to be there's a lot, like, it's often what we're listening to at the time when we're writing that influences what we sound like, and I think in the past like 4 or 5 years, how long has it been? We have been listening to a lot more like post black metal and progressive stuff, and definitely you get that feeling from the music that we've written. But yeah, I think it's still going to have that Countless Guys signature sound, but maybe a different sort of vibe to it this time. Yeah.
And it has, as you said, it's been, will have been 5 years since Glow. Did you plan that, or was that just life? Just
life, yeah, and also a pandemic.
Yeah.
But that's when we released Glow, during the pandemic somehow, yeah. And then, it's just life. Lots of things have happened in the past 5 years. But I mean, it's the same reason that it took 4 years to get from New Dawn to Glow. It's because we all have full-time jobs. We all have lives outside of the band, and sometimes that takes priority and it just slows things down. And now James lives in Berlin as well. We've got that barrier, but we've found ways to get past it, and we've actually had some really creative sessions with him online. And in person, so I'm still confident about getting it done. Yeah,
and that's one of the things I was really interested in finding out about. We chat to lots of bands, and quite a lot of bands on the scene now are doing this alongside normal day jobs. And how does that actually work for the two of you?
Yeah, I mean, for us it's quite easy. We kind of work from home, and just it's a hobby, but our main hobby. I'll describe it as
expensive hobby.
But it works quite well. Like we meet and chat each week, obviously with James from afar, but we still tend to do one practice a week and sort of just get together, have a few drinks, whatever.
Us three, us and Phil, not James. It's in Berlin, But
I was chatting with a guy from Earn, and he was saying there's almost two of him. There's the one in the band and the one who does his day job. And he basically takes the suit off and he becomes Geezer from Earn, and he puts the suit back on and he's now Geezer sat in his law firm.
Yeah.
Is it a bit like that for you as well? Sort of, do you feel like you almost were running parallel lives?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, my job is quite calm, I guess, for what I do at least. Where so I'm a developer, so I sit at home on my computer, and I don't really have to go out or do anything crazy for my job. And then at night, and then I'll go and play a gig, and I'll be in front of a crowd of people, and it's quite very contrasting. Yeah.
Well, let's go back to sort of Glow, because as you said, it came out at the beginning of the pandemic. Do you think that aided or basically debilitated it in terms of how it went?
Yeah, so I guess it was good in the sense that a lot of things went online at the time, so a lot more people were probably looking for entertainment, more open to listening to new music, and there was more opportunities for like online interviews and reviews and things. But then I also feel like it did hit us kind of hard in terms of gigs and touring. Releasing an album that you've been spent that long working on, and having to release it during a pandemic when you can't even play a single show, that was kind of gutting, really. And I do feel like it kind of slowed down our momentum a bit. I do wonder what we could have done if we'd have released it at a time when we could tour. But it is what it is, and the fact that we can now continue to tour off of the back of an album that came out 4 years ago, that to us is incredible, and we're so grateful that we have the fan base to allow that kind of thing.
By the beauty of setlist.fm, I looked at you're doing most, if not all, of Glow. Is that, was that the plan?
I mean, that's the stuff we like to play the most, I think. I mean, we have some songs that we really enjoy playing live from New Dawn, but for us, Glow is like the step up where I feel like it's more suitable to like live. We've got more interesting things going on. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, the drums are a little bit more intricate.
Yeah.
Although, we do play Ethereal off our EP and first album. And
we spice it up a bit.
Spice it up, because I get a little bit bored because the drumming's a bit, we wrote it nearly 10 years ago. So we just turned it into a blackmail ending. And
that's, I think one of the interesting things is watching songs evolve as a band plays it and how it changed. Do you find that, as you said, things change as you play them? I'm going to add this bit now. I'm going to add this bit. So
absolutely. I think that actually helped with Glow as well, because Glow, we started learning the songs earlier, and then we had way more time to practice them and refine them. With New Dawn, we wrote an album and then went to a studio and recorded it in 9 days. It was all quite rushed. So and
I won't bring Will in at this point. He's very patiently sort of waited here. But you're a super sub. You've been brought off the bench to cover for James. How does it then work for you, basically coming and playing, especially when the songs are slightly different than they are on the record when you listen to them? How does that work for you?
Well, it was a bit of a challenge, but we did spend a bit of time like rehearsing and stuff ahead of the tour. That was why it was such a surprise that unfortunately Phil had to drop out, because it meant that we always had to reinvent the wheel a little bit on what we were expecting. But
we swapped a song. We were going to play Daybreak, which was just very Phil heavy, and a week, if not a bit less than a week beforehand, we spoke to Will and he learned the song in a week. Ready to song, it's madness.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure working with the other songs, and the guys are really helpful getting the material over so I could start making some work on it.
And how is it coming into what is quite a, because Countless Skies, you're quite an established band in the fact that you've been playing together for a long time. You've got that repertoire. The two of you actually got a bit of telepathy where you know each other. How's that for you coming into that sort of group?
The guys have made it really easy to kind of sort of gel into the space. Yeah, but I'm quite aware there's a lot of pressure because there's a lot of people that really love Countless Skies are expecting James Pratt. So I've done my best to try and sort of imitate, but there is a point where sometimes you just can't do what another person does precisely. So I put a little Will flair on it, I guess. Just try and put a different spin on it. I mean, if it would have been exactly the same thing, I was only setting myself up to fail, I guess.
We're here for it. Like the little noodling that you've been doing is.
You learnt the song so quickly as well. It's really impressive. Thanks, man.
And that was one thing that was interesting from your two perspective, is do you find that having Will there, who's a different player, has sort of even that changed a bit the way the songs work?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So, I mean, obviously James and I started the band a long time ago, and we've been playing guitar together since we were kids, so we do have that kind of connection when we're playing live and stuff. So yeah, it's very strange playing without James on stage with us, But I have to say, Will has just slotted in so well. I mean, like he said, he's not imitating James, he's not replacing James. He's just here to fill in for James and add his own style and vibe. And I've been telling people, come down and see him play and see the way that he approaches it and the differences that he makes to the sound, because it all comes together really well. And I'm really happy with how it's gone. Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm going to sort of bring it to a close here now, because I know you need to go and get food. We've got the gig coming up. A couple of sort of final questions. So, the one we always finish our interviews with is, if basically Bloodstock said to you, right, you can have, basically Thursday is yours. You headline the Thursday, but you can basically put whoever you want on that Thursday. Who would you put there?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know, maybe I'd try and pick a band that I've always wanted to see live that I haven't had a chance to yet. That's a tough one. But I mean, there's a couple of bands that I would definitely want to pick. But I'd be a bit self-conscious of picking bands bigger than us to play below us, right? But maybe if I could choose some bands, I mean, maybe Alcest and maybe some of the smaller bands from our scene that I'd like to see on a bigger platform. So maybe Earthbound, who are our friends. Maybe your band, Fearbound, Will's band, check them out. They're really good. And maybe some of the bands we've met along the way, some of the bands we've gigged with before or toured, like Finsterforst, Feartan, maybe our friends in Heritoire or something like that. Don't know, maybe Cambard.
Yeah, Cambard. I'll just stick on my favourite bands. White Wards, one of them. I don't know, In Vain.
Yeah, it's absolutely In Vain, yeah. Would you pick anyone?
Oh, my mind is completely blank. I knew this question was coming, I was like, oh man.
Thin Lizzy.
Really? A bit Thin Lizzy.
Might be a bit of trouble.
No, let's keep it on topic.
You talked about a scene, I thought that's really interesting. So do you feel there is a scene of bands happening sort of you're part of then?
I think so. I mean, I'm not sure if where we fit in it anymore, but I'm definitely still personally part of it as a fan, and I like to go to a lot of local gigs. We've got a few venues around where I live. We've got the 66 Bar in Cambridge. We've got Club 85 in Hitchin, which is a really important venue that we're trying to save at the moment. I always go down there. I've been going there for years. I know lots of people, met lots of people through there. I mean, we met Will from our scene with his band, so I think it's really important.
Yeah, I can't actually remember the first time we played with you, but it was years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the Portland.
Yeah, I think was it with King Leviathan maybe, or a long time ago. Yeah.
But thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Really looking forward to the gig. Really looking forward to seeing how you fit in up there. Really looking forward to seeing how the backing tracks of Phil works. You've been watching rockflesh.com. Subscribe. Do all the things that you do with the buttons. We will see you later. It's been emotional. Thank you.
Cool.
Cheers. Thank you, guys.